This video is sponsored by Brilliant. Every time that I've used AI to help me with a project, homework, leak code, or literally anything, it's always resulted in two ways. It either completely does the work for me and then I have literally no idea how to actually do any of that work on my own, or AI ends up wasting my time completely because it has no idea how to solve my specific issue and ends up taking me in some weird rabbit hole of misinformation that never ends. And yes, I know AI can be helpful and maybe I'm just using it in the wrong way, but I really recommend you to write code by yourself from scratch as much as possible, because the struggling part of writing code is what actually causes us to learn. But when you use AI, it often immediately solves your problem, giving you no struggle and consequently no deep, real knowledge. Nowadays, I don't think it's possible to get an internship or a full-time job without having some sort of presence in the industry, and it doesn't need to be a huge 1 million followers and everyone knows who you are. You just need to have the right people know who you are, what you're good at, and most importantly, what you've been working on. So when I say you need to have a presence, I mainly mean you need to at least have a LinkedIn account. Make sure it's up to date with all your education, information, and any projects that you have. And while you build projects, you should post about the things you learn on this account. This way, anyone can easily see what you have accomplished and the things that you're good at, because it's all right on your LinkedIn account. This will also cause possible employers to find you without you needing to find them. So basically, work on something, but document your progress and the milestones for people to see. There's this student who's been in all of my classes, and I noticed that he does this thing where he always sits in the front of the class and asks 1 to 2 questions per lecture. At first, I thought he did this because he really just didn't understand the material. But whenever I went to my teacher's office hours, he was also always there and talking to the teacher about the class. And then this is when I realized he wasn't even lost in the class. He was just showing the teacher that he's actually interested in the subject and willing to go above and beyond. And all of this effort resulted in him not even needing to take the final, because the teacher already knew this student knew everything about the subject. And recently, this student actually connected with me on LinkedIn. And turns out, now he's doing research with that same professor. So to everyone that says they have no connections and have no idea how to network, start by connecting with your professors, as you're going to be in their class anyway, so you might as well go that little step extra and possibly give yourself an opportunity. Also, I want to touch on GPA as well, and I'm going to keep this part short. You really just need a 3.0 GPA. Obviously, try your best and don't slack on your classes, but experience is much more valuable than your GPA, and companies only really check to make sure that you're above a 3.0. But if you do want to aim for a high GPA, I would say just aim for a 3.5 or above, because to be honest, going for a 4.0 seems like a bit of a waste of time. In my mind, there's just a certain point of diminishing returns where going for a 4.0 just might not be worth it. Like, for example, let's say you've studied for about 3 hours and you think you can confidently get a B on a test, but for some reason you really want an A. But in order to get that A, you need to study this really hard concept that's going to take you an extra 4 hours. In most cases, I would say just get the B that you can confidently get, and then use those other 4 hours building a project or connecting or pretty much anything that will actually get you closer to some real experience. So essentially, when it comes to GPA, it's really up to you, but I recommend aiming for a 3.5 and just maintaining it rather than trying to get a 4.0, which might be more of a nuisance than a benefit. And also, don't forget, you don't even need a 3.5 or above. Mainly, just as long as you have a 3.0, you should be fine for most companies. I'm honestly surprised how many comments I got on my last video asking me to explain what networking is, because there's so many students who have literally no idea what it means to network, which isn't even their fault. It's something school doesn't really teach us. But basically, networking is just building relationships with valuable people. So like I mentioned earlier, you might want to build a relationship with your professor or job recruiters or industry engineers or pretty much anyone that can be some sort of help to you. But also keep in mind that networking networking works both ways. People will only network with you if you can also help them in some sort of way. For example, a professor might want help with research. A recruiter wants to find someone to employ, and an engineer is looking for someone to join their team, and so on. Networking is valuable because it can literally be your entry to a position. Say you network with a recruiter and they're looking for someone to fill a position for programming in C++. Well, let's also say that you have a presence, like I recommended earlier, which means this recruiter can look on your LinkedIn and see projects that you've built with C++, as well as everything that you've learned from them and that you're still learning and building. This is a lot more valuable than just having a resume that says you know C++, and the recruiter will already have an interest in hiring you. So you might be wondering, how do you even network with the recruiter in the first place? Because obviously once they already know of you and the kind of work you do, it seems easy, but how do you get your foot in the door initially? And again, like I mentioned earlier, this all comes from having a presence. If you build projects and post about it on LinkedIn, this gives you a real form of credibility as a software engineer. So when you see a recruiter post on LinkedIn about looking for someone to fill a role, you can now message this recruiter and tell them that you have experience in what they're looking for, and you're interested in setting up a chat with them to further discuss the role. And chances are they'll check your LinkedIn and see everything you've done and set up the chat with you, and just like that, you've made a connection. And of course, you can network in a ton of ways. This is just one that I think can apply to everyone. So start having a presence and start networking. Just code something every day, and it doesn't have to be for a long time. It can be 30 minutes or an hour each day. And also don't make excuses either, because I'm sure a lot of us, including me, waste time on social media anyways, and then whine about not having time to code or apply to jobs or things like that. So just turn the excuses part of your brain off and just code something. It doesn't have to be something great, and you don't need the perfect idea. You can literally ask ChatGPT for 10 game ideas to code, or website ideas, or app ideas, or machine learning, literally anything. And then I'd also recommend only giving yourself 5 minutes to choose the idea, because if you don't, then you're probably going to waste over an hour thinking of the best project for you, which we both know is just you procrastinating, because trust me, I've done it too. So pick your project idea within 5 minutes, and now since we want to code for at least 30 minutes a day, you still have 25 minutes left to code. So now all you need to do is just spend 25 minutes, which I know almost sounds too easy, but right now the most important part is just getting you started and past your initial block of excuses. So just code something, and trust me, it will do you no harm. Ultimately, one thing I noticed about computer science is that studying the fundamentals is what gives you the ability to make projects that you're passionate about and what will help you in the long run. This means it's really important that you not only learn the fundamental concepts, but also master them, which is why I use today's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant helps you get smarter every day with thousands of interactive lessons in math, science, programming, data analysis, and AI. Brilliant is a learning app designed to be uniquely effective. Each lesson is filled with hands-on problem solving that lets you play with concepts, a method proven to be 6 times more effective than watching lecture videos. And Brilliant's first principles approach helps you build understanding from the ground up. And with a perfect mix of engaging problems, competitive features, and daily encouragement, will all keep you motivated and on track. Plus, all content on Brilliant is crafted by an award-winning team of teachers, researchers, and professionals from Stanford, MIT, Caltech, Microsoft, Google, and more. And Brilliant helps you build your critical thinking skills through problem solving, not memorizing. So while you're building real knowledge on specific topics, you'll also be becoming a better thinker. And the Brilliant app makes it easy to learn anywhere right on your phone, with fun, hands-on lessons you can do whenever you have time. Whether you're diving into a new topic or doing a quick practice session, you can level up on the go in just minutes. And Brilliant's newly updated programming courses are a great way to build a foundation in coding, get experience with real-world applications, and learn to think like a programmer. Brilliant gives you the ability to build timeless problem-solving skills and to thrive in the evolving world of programming. Brilliant also allows you to learn to think like a programmer by breaking down complex problems into manageable chunks of code. Not only this, but you'll also develop an intuition for computer logic as you learn to design and debug real program. And Brilliant makes it so that you can get familiar with Python and start building real programs on day one. So to try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/lattice or scan the QR code on screen. Or you can also click the link in the description and you'll get 20% off an annual premium subscription. So if you're still watching, I hope this video was some help to you, and let me know what you think in the comments. I really like reading all of your stories.